This is David Miller with the Miller Group of Keller Williams Realty, and I'm here to help you get real estate smart. All right, the new real estate stats just came out, and is it going to be a trick or a treat for the local real estate market? Stay tuned and find out. Once again, this is David Miller. I gotta take this down. I can't talk with the mask on. If you know me, I love Halloween. And I've been working to the bone to put together some good information and to interpret these new stats that just came out. So let's talk about something that might be scary to some people, and that is the depreciation that's occurring in the market. Now, if you remember, I said whenever it happens for 3 months, it's a trend. Well, the stats just came out, and the average depreciation for the median price in Metro Orlando dropped by about 3 to 4%. So if you add it up for the past 3 months, because this is a third consecutive month, the market has dropped price-wise about 6%. Now let's put that in perspective. Since COVID, pricing has gone up anywhere between 35 to 40%. So obviously we had some room. Now, let me tell you why it's not going to come crashing down like it did before. And I'm just going to focus on one thing or two things, which is supply and demand. So the first thing is demand. Now there is an inverse relationship between interest rates going up and how that affects demand. So as they go up, it affects demand, and the reason that it does is because it makes things unaffordable. Now, when the pricing was taken off and interest rates were so low, it was still affordable. But when the prices stayed high and interest rates gone up, it has become unaffordable, especially for first-time home buyers. So what has happened is that there's less buyers out there. And since there's less buyers, it means that there's going to be less sales. So there is not an inverse relationship between the rates going up and the inventory going up. So what we're seeing is that the inventory only went up about 100 homes, and that happened again last month. So if inventory really spiked up and demand dropped, then we would have a much bigger drop in pricing, because if you want to sell your house, you got to really drop your price a lot to do that. We're not there because inventory is still low. It's actually at around 2.5 months of inventory. Remember, anything below 6 months is considered a seller's market. So I'll tell you, 2.5 months of inventory is the same inventory as it was in 2011 when the market changed from a buyer's market to a seller's market. So relatively speaking, it's still not that bad. So what's happening to inventory? Why isn't it going up? Well, the reason it's not going up is because about 60% of homeowners have interest rates on their loans for the properties at around 3%. So if you're thinking about making a move, it's like, wow, geez, I got 3%, I got a pretty good rate here, and if I move, I'm going to jump into 6 or 7%. So that's keeping a lot of the sellers on the sideline, which is sort of unique, because typically when we hit the top of the market and we start to see the shift, a lot of sellers like to jump in before the market goes any lower so they can be able to get that there. So here's the thing, is that the higher interest rates are going to continue to spook the buyers, and until they realize that this is the new normal, they're going to be a little bit slow on buying. And that we're seeing that in the closed sales that we've had last month. They're down about 28% versus this same time last year. However, I don't expect the inventory to spike up for the reason that I mentioned before. So here's the good news for buyers. In today's market, compared to what it was just 6 months ago, there's plenty of homes to look at. Compared to last year, there's 88% more homes to look at. So as a buyer who was looking maybe 6 months ago, it was hard to find something. You can find stuff now, and there's some good stuff on the market. Number two, for a buyer, when you were looking 6 months ago and you found a house, you had to jump on it, and you had to give the farm away. You waive inspections and waive your appraisal and add a appraisal contingency and all these other things to allow you to purchase the property and win against multiple offers. That's not the case anymore. There's still cases when a house is priced right and in good shape, it's going to have multiple offers, but in most cases, it's taken longer for a property to sell. Matter of fact, the average days on market right now went up about 20% versus last month. It's about 31 days on average before a house goes under contract. 2 months ago, it was about 21 days, so that is continuing to rise as well. The other good news for buyers is that the sellers used to have so much leverage that they could do whatever they want. Well, that's not the case anymore. They still have some leverage, but you have leverage as well. So it's more of an opportunity to actually negotiate with the seller to get to a price point in terms that is comfortable for you as well as for them. So that's some good news. So if you need our help, we can carve out some time for you to help you find a property. And if you work with us, we will never ghost you. You will always have constant communication. We will help you find the next house. It's sort of like finding the right pumpkin in a pumpkin patch. It takes some time, but once you find it, you're happy, the kid's happy, and that's our goal for you. So I hope that you are now real estate smart.